Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, it's good to see you. We had a great NFL week one. We had a great NFL game last night. All I want to know, though, what was your record with your week one picks?
Week one picks. Listen, you were there when we were yelling and screaming at the TV. We jumped off Minnesota. You scared us. So this week we're doing a little different approach because me and the mutual friend
I scared you by liking a team, and then you got off the team that I like. Just so everyone knows what scaring is in this situation.
You scared us. We jumped off the team. They won. So we only went 3-2 last week. Still a solid performance. We're in 1,000th place out of 5,000 people. So we're pretty good. We're up there.
Great.
We're doing good. Getting
60%, Mike. That's all you want every week. Go in and win 3 out of 5. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah, obviously we want to do a little better. This week we have a lot of games we like, a lot of games we should play but are scared to play. So we'll go over some of those games, but 3-2, doing okay so far. I'm excited about it. Also back on the Seahawks bandwagon because that game was great on Monday night.
Wow, great. That was amazing. Game. That was their Super Bowl. No team
really
plays the Super Bowl in week one except the Seattle Seahawks when Russell Wilson comes as a visitor. And the end of the game was amazing. The Broncos head coach, if you could fire a head coach after one career game, that would be the situation to do it in.
Yeah, I would immediately fire them. I didn't realize like all these alternative streams are going on during the games. I didn't know that Manning Cast was going on Monday night. I probably would have watched that. We can talk broadcasters. I
don't know. Buck and Aikman make like Manning Cast like irrelevant to me. Buck and Aikman are elite, and it's great to have them on the national game instead of like normally we watch Red Zone on Sundays, and so we're getting little pieces of them calling 3 plays at a time before Scott Hansen whips us to the next touchdown, and we're not getting the full Buck Aikman experience. But now on Monday Night Football, you can sit down for 3 hours and listen to him call a game.
I really liked the Monday night broadcast. I thought it was great. But I still wanted to know that there was an alternative broadcast. Like I didn't know these things were happening. Like
you feel like ManningCast wasn't promoted because I feel like it was everywhere.
I don't know where everywhere was promoted. Like I didn't even know last night. I turned on Amazon Prime, went to the video and watched the video. I didn't know there was 4 alternative streams last night. And our mutual friend didn't even know that you had to go outside the shopping Amazon app.
Well, I remember as soon as Amazon got the rights to exclusive Thursday Night Football, we were like, okay, our dads are not going to know how to find it. It turns out our 35-year-old friends also are not going to know how to find it, which speaks to our generation, I think, more than anything else. I thought it was a beautiful picture on Prime last night. First of all, Chargers-Chiefs, great matchup. The quarterback matchup you live for wasn't as high scoring as maybe we had hoped. You thought it might be low scoring, so you were good with that.
I won some money.
But it was just a beautiful picture. And I thought overall, it's Michaels and Herbstreit. They haven't worked together, but they're both top-notch announcers.
It was the
picture was clear. It's a good game. It just felt like a great broadcast.
I texted you during the broadcast and I said it seemed like Herbstreit was talking to himself instead of to Al. Like there was no back and forth. Like even with like Collinsworth and Tirico, like they got a little, they're trying to like work out a vibe. It honestly looks like Al might be like, listen, I'm fucking done after this. He didn't look very good. He looked a little disheveled. I don't know what's
in the opening. I thought like, wait, did they not put makeup on Al? Like help him out a little bit.
Maybe the broadcast looks so good we finally see what Al looks like because it was very.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
It was weird. I felt like they weren't friends. Like they're not friends. They're not hanging out. They're not even like in the range of the same age. It felt a little bit.
You think awkward. That? How old do you think Kirk Herbstreit is, though?
I would want to say he's probably, let's go like 47.
And that's on the high side. He looks like he's 40. He might look better than us. He's 52, so he is 52. Older than 50. He's pushing 50. Al's 72, I believe. So he does have 20 years on him. I did seem like Al, once you said that, I started listening to it, like Al and Herbstreit are not talking to each other. It did seem like Al was calling the game and then just pausing for analysis and then just calling the game and wasn't like reacting to it.
Yeah.
And I did realize that after you said it, but it is early. They did one preseason game. Maybe they had some other practice games. This is their first real one. I think by next week they'll start to clean it up.
I want that mojo. I want the back and forth. It's like when you get Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, it's like, they're like having fun. They're like, Tony, what do you think? What about it? There really is a vibe, and that really, it didn't go as well as I thought it would have. But the broadcast looked great. Alternate streams. I'm going to check that out next Thursday. I love it. I don't know how many. Now, I want to know how many people
Well, you might
watch.
not. It's actually going to be a Mitch Trubisky, Jacoby Brissett battle
Oh.
next Thursday. If you want to make some dinner plans that night, I feel like maybe we should not watch it.
Should we do a little Thursday Night Football next week? We
The
go
mutual
somewhere?
friends actually not in town for that next Thursday.
Okay. All right. I'm trying
but
to
speaking
look
of
up.
announcers, listen, I think
Yeah.
Herb Street is elite. I know he's used to college football, but there's a reason he's been doing the #1 college game for 20 years for ESPN, because he is a great analyst. That transferred well to the NFL. I think Tirico and Collinsworth, like we talked about last week, great together on NBC. They have the instant chemistry that maybe you're looking for with Al Michaels. And then the one I'm not sure of yet, Mike, is on Fox. Greg Olson, the Aikman replacement. I'm not sure he has the gravitas to be a #1 analyst. I think Fox knows that too, because they did sign Tom Brady for whenever he's done. But this year, Greg Olson's their #1 guy. Greg Olson's calling the Super Bowl, so I'm a little skeptical of that.
Greg Olson, they're calling the Super Bowl
on Fox, Burkhart and Olson.
Yeah. But you don't really get a lot of like primetime Fox. Like there was not a lot of time when you're watching just Fox. Like if you're watching Red Zone, you're not really seeing them too much. I think it's okay. I don't know how the Super Bowl never really seems to need a lot of like entertainment behind it because there's so much already going on. So it might be okay, but obviously they wanted Brady for it. So we'll see what happens.
And they got him. We'll talk about Tom Brady coming up. We got the betting manifesto coming up, which I'm excited about because, listen, shout out to the lawyer friend. He memorized your betting manifesto.
Big.
First-year head coaches, he's out on. Home dogs, he's in on. So he's really memorized
I love
this.
it.
So shout out to him for paying close attention. And you're going to make money. You could go 60% if you just memorize Mike's whole manifesto. I think it's 2 shows below us here in your podcast feed.
Yeah, I'll post it online somewhere. We really got to put it out there. Now, also, we have investors this year onto our gambling thing, and we're sending out emails every Friday night. So tonight, we're going to send out an email to our investor, and we're going to say, like, he actually writes. It takes him like an hour to write up this report of what we're going to pick, and I just tweeted out.
Loves to write reports.
Loves writing reports. So I just tweeted out. So if you follow us on TSH Podcast on Twitter, you will see our finalized picks. We got some follows from some gamblers in Vegas, it looked like. So just follow us there. You'll see the picks. We have to lock them in 7 a.m. Saturday morning. So they're going out tonight. So I do have the final recap. Do you want to talk Brady here real quick?
Let's talk Brady. We always like to tease the picks, make the people stick around for the juice of the podcast.
I started, do you know Dumois, the Instagram account, the like celebrity gossip? You don't know that one? So Dumois online, it's like random anonymous submissions of things that are going on. So the email is thegoat@tampa.com. The subject is I'm on a boat. And the message says the QB called a cigar CEO to buy his boat because his wife is leaving him for not being a family man and picking his career over his family and not caring about his marriage. Lied to the wifey and said he would be there for them, but decided to play football. The boat was definitely a divorced gift to himself. Cost of the boat was $300,000. So I think things are bad. And there's a lot of stuff. Even my dad asked me what's going on. Are they divorcing? I'm like, I don't know.
Well, your dad is a socialite in Tampa. I feel like he knows what's going on amongst rich people and celebrities in Tampa. So he should be in the Brady Giselle circles, maybe at the same places for dinner. I think your source is not great on that one since it's so anonymous. I don't know what your source in
You got to look it up. It's like the biggest celebrity gossip online. Like everybody goes to that thing for celebrity gossip.
I'm not discounting Dubois. I'm discounting whoever wrote that whole email with all the details in it.
He didn't buy a boat from a cigar guy?
It's very TSH of us to embrace the bizarre scandals and gossip that we're hearing. But I will say more accurate reporting has been done maybe with People Magazine. I saw in Variety where Giselle is doing some interviews and Giselle is talking about how much she wants her husband intact later in life and how he does, and she doesn't know what else he has to prove. And she's saying all the things that we say, right? He's won the Super Bowls. He is the GOAT. He is all these things. Why is he still doing that at 45? And it seems like his TB12 method, his idea that he's going to beat time, he's going to be the one person in history to do it, is like overpowering his marriage, his relationship. And that is what apparently led to the 10 days away from training camp. It is causing problems. Apparently he's lost like 18 to 20 pounds. I haven't seen that with my own eyes. He's lost 18 to 20 pounds like in August, like this training camp. Yeah, maybe you should.
Yeah, I need to do whatever he's doing. I kind of understand it. You imagine, Jeremy, tomorrow you could retire. You probably would be bored out of your mind 3 months in. You're like, what am I doing? I'm just sitting here eating, doing nothing. You'd get bored. So
I would.
I think for Tom
And
Brady,
I'm much less driven than Tom Brady, I'll be honest.
yeah. And imagine Tom Brady, he's got TV12. Oh, I only have to work once a week and do Fox broadcasts. I don't think it's enough for him. I think this guy is a workaholic. He wants to keep working. He's driven. And listen, I know it's like, I think at one point Giselle was much more wealthier than him, but I think now he's overtaken the wealth status with all the TB12s and the contracts with Fox and obviously his NFL career. But I think he's just a driven dude, and he has gotten better. He won his first NFL game last week. I mean, it wasn't the best game, but he beat, he's good. He's good enough. He's better than most quarterbacks.
We'll see how good he is this week. Maybe a little tease to your bets for this week, but he doesn't beat the Saints, and he's going up against Jameis, a little Jameis revenge game maybe against the Bucs. So more on that. I think you're going to talk about that game coming up.
I will talk about that. Real quick, this is totally random. I saved this the other day. It was a degree of difficulty sports rating. What do you think the most difficult sport is? And then what do you think the least difficult sport is?
To play?
To do.
I think you probably wouldn't be telling me this if baseball's on the list, but baseball should be number one because hitting a 100-mile-an-hour fastball coming at you should be number one. Sorry.
Baseball's not number one. What do you think number one is? Give me something better because it's definitely not baseball.
Could it be tennis? Tennis would be really hard. Balls flying 100 miles an hour again.
Tennis is close to baseball, so you're not there. It's do you want me to tell you the number one? I was seeing if you were going to guess it.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I'm confident in my answers, but you can tell me number one.
Number one is boxing. And they give like different scores. It's endurance, strength, power, agility, flexibility, duration, hand-eye, and then it gives a ranking. So boxing does seem pretty hard because you actually need everything. You need the hand-eye, the movement, the endurance, the take, the hit. So that's the number one hardest sport to play. Then it goes ice hockey, football,
Just
basketball.
stop on boxing for a second.
Yeah.
I get it. Where if you were going to be a boxer and had to be successful and had to make your living off boxing, I get it. Could be number one. But Mike, I can send you into the ring tonight, into the pay-per-view ring. Oh, you're going to go sub for the heavyweight champion. I'm going to send you in. Yeah. You'll participate in the boxing match. You'll physically be there. You'll get hit.
I would be literally
no. I know, but Jeremy, you can do it. You'll make it to the game. Mike, I can't go hit a baseball. I can't hit a baseball. You can't hit a baseball. No one can.
I could hit a baseball. I could go catch a baseball.
Miles an hour. No,
I could catch a pop fly easy. Give me a fucking glove.
The hardest thing to do in all of sports is to hit a baseball. It really is.
It's not up here on the hardest thing to do.
Give me the rest of your list. What else do we have?
Number 2, ice hockey. You gotta have endurance, skating, balance.
But I don't know. All my friends play ice hockey, so how hard can it be?
I guess we're all good at it. Then it's football, basketball, wrestling, martial arts, tennis, gymnastics, and baseball/softball. They combo it together. Number 9, and then it goes up to 15. 15 is rodeo. So you're pretty far down there.
Why is rodeo so easy? I feel like that's like boxing where you could die when in the
match.
I
don't think it's pretty low on the hand-eye coordination, pretty low on the endurance because it's a quick thing. So I can send it. You know what? I'll put it in the show notes so people could see this little data sheet. It's very
Where is golf on your list?
Golf on my list? Golf. Where's golf? Golf doesn't even make the list. It's not a real sport.
It's not a sport. It's an activity.
It's not a sport.
Like, you've tried golf and you've stopped trying at golf. You know how hard
I hate. I actually retired. I retired from golf. So
I know. So you're an example of how hard it is.
Oh, here, I was trying to show you this. So this is the thing right here.
All right, here it is. Good visual for those watching on YouTube. If you're listening, sucks for you. But boxing is number 1 on Mike's degree of difficulty here.
Yeah, I don't know where the rest was. It keeps going, so maybe these are the top 15 that I have. I don't know where the rest was. I think I screenshot this from Reddit the other day.
Looks like endurance, strength, power, speed, agility, flexibility, some other stuff. Hands.
Boxing and ice hockey up there on pretty hard.
Water polo. Mike, water polo is so hard. They tread water for hours at a time.
But wouldn't you say it's more endurance than hand-eye coordination? right? Like there's not as much hand-eye in there.
I feel like there is hand-eye coordination because you only have your hands above water to play
All
the
right,
whole sport. You don't have your whole body.
we can debate
This is
this
like
all
a whole
day.
show we could do
Yeah.
this. Yes.
I actually, I started doing something similar because I was going to rate our group chat and give everybody power rankings similar to this, but it's really hard. I have to actually, we have
you
to
need
do
to do
like
every
a contest.
category. You need to do every category.
We should all play the sports, and then I should grade everybody on every sport.
Was anything better than field day in 4th grade?
I love it. Field day is great. So good.
Great. Let's do a field day. Let's bring everyone out here.
I would love to do a field day. All right. So do you want
What else are you showing us here? You're still sharing your screen.
I know. I was going to show you, where is it? I was going to show you the Circa Millions.
Before you get to the picks, though, before you get to the picks, can I do a few J-Dog takes on based on week 1 before we get to week 2?
Let me turn off the screen. I want people getting into my
get that ready.
My picks.
Get that ready. So week 2 picks are on the way. I got 2 J-Dog takes on for week 1. The first one are Seahawks fans for booing Russell Wilson.
I love it.
What was that about? Russell Wilson. Mike, you're a Seahawks fan. I'm going to take you on now. I'm officially taking you on.
J-Dog.
I didn't know you were going to say that. I'm taking you on. I'm taking all those Seahawks fans on, the 12s, whatever the hell they call them there. It was so loud. They booed Russell Wilson at the jump. I get late in the game, cheering against him. The game's happening. When you boo him before the game in the pregame introductions, when he comes out as quarterback, he was a hero for you. He was the best quarterback to ever play in that stadium for you, the fans. He let you brag about so much wins and success and the Super Bowl championship. And now to turn your back on him and to actively boo him makes no fucking sense. And you're bad sports fans for doing it.
Jeremy, this man is turning into a man unrecognizable by the human population. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing the most cringe-worthy stuff. He doesn't make sense anymore. He's sitting around and did you see that one clip of him? He's sitting on the sideline. He's like, pass a run. Pass a run. Tell him pass a run, defense. And I don't know if he's pretending to be somebody else or he got a money grab and now he has to just be like, I got to just pretend to be this different person. Maybe he's trying a different persona. I don't know really what's happening. He's not the Russell Wilson I remember. He is a Russell Wilson that looks like he went through a breakup and became a new person that no one likes. And
he's changed a lot, but you can't take away what he did for you. It's the same Russell Wilson, the same guy, the same quarterback did that for you, Mike. You had his jersey, maybe multiple versions of it.
It just doesn't, it didn't seem like a lot of the teammates liked him. It's just a very weird vibe. I don't know what happened. Pete Carroll's totally against them. I don't know what it is. So I'm on Geno Smith and the Seahawks side. Good for them getting their probably only win of the season. But it was a great win, and we'll see how it goes.
They're definitely not as good as they played. They were all hyped for that game. My God. And so was Geno. And good for Geno. He played great. He outplayed Russell most of the game. He had the great quote after. They wrote me off. I didn't write back.
I loved
good
it.
Stuff.
It was like an Eminem. Yeah, it was great.
It's just now you're 10-point dogs on the road, and you're probably about to go 2-14 or so. Yeah. But at least they got the first game out of the way. You're right about that. I think you're wrong for booing. I know you weren't there, but you would have booed him.
I was booing at home.
My second J-Dog takes on is Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys. So the Cowboys roster sucks, and that's before Dak Prescott gets hurt and they don't have a real backup quarterback that anyone's ever seen play. And Jerry Jones is the GM. This happens year after year where the Cowboys have these expectations and you put so much pressure on Dak and so much pressure on McCarthy, and they're surrounded by nothing. And even when Dak was healthy in that game on Sunday night, you saw it. There's no receivers to throw to outside CeeDee Lamb.
Not elite.
They did not replace Amari Cooper. The offensive line sucks, and the Bucs were getting consistent pressure with really no blitzing, just the defensive line. And then the Cowboys' defense was exposed throughout the whole game by Brady just dumping balls off. So I think Jerry Jones is the one to blame here. People are going to blame Dak. They're going to blame Mike McCarthy. That's fine. It starts at the top, and you got to bite the head off to fix the rest. And it's Jerry Jones being a selfish owner by doing something as an NFL GM that he has not qualified for at all, which there's 31 NFL qualified GMs. And then there's Jerry Jones as the one outlier who has no experience or education in this field. And until he's not the GM there, the Cowboys will not be any good at
all. I was just recently watching the new Lakers documentary on Hulu, and I didn't realize that Jerry Buss almost bought the Dallas Cowboys. And the NFL turned him down because he was too much of a party boy, and they did not like that attitude coming into the NFL. I didn't realize that he was going to buy. He had already owned the Lakers. He owned the girls team, the Sparks, and he was going to go buy an NFL team. His dream was to buy an NFL team. He was in, he was about to get it, and they're like, no, you're out, which was very
I didn't know
great
that. Was that
documentary
before
on Hulu.
Jerry, or he was going to buy it from Jerry? Where does Jerry
When Jerry bought it, it was like that was the time when what's
Wow.
his name? Bus could have taken over, which is kind
I
of
feel like
interesting.
Cowboys fans wish it was bust because it's a bust for
Yeah.
Jerry Jones and the Cowboys the last 20 years. It turns out you're not very good without Troy Aikman.
And the I have a great bet. Mike McCarthy, first coach fired. It is looking juicy after Dak is gone. Yeah, they're just a bad team. And I think Dak, he always has like little injuries here and there. Now I regret drafting Zeke because he's just not going to do anything this year. It's like Cooper Rush and Zeke. And what are we going to do? Like, sure, you can run the ball. You're not going to score touchdowns. It's not going to be a good season.
Why aren't the Cowboys? I think I answered my own question in the J-Dog Takes On because they have a terrible GM. Why aren't they calling the Niners for Jimmy G? Doesn't Jimmy G solve the Dak problem right away? And if Jimmy G plays well, Dak, you haven't won much for us. Maybe you just sit until Jimmy G doesn't play well. Or if Jimmy G doesn't play well, Dak comes back in 4 weeks. I feel like that's a great solution for them. And they have the cap to do it.
He's got a no trade clause, right? So he can't be traded. He has to ask to go over there. Also, like Jimmy G's in a great position. Got paid $25 million, sitting back, chilling, with everybody wanting him to start, but the coaching staff and everybody else wants Trey. So go ahead, Trey. You start. You do your thing. He can step in, be the savior, and be like a little bit better than Trey Lance, and still make his money. And maybe his trade value goes up for next year. I would just sit there. I wouldn't even want to go to Dallas. Why go to Dallas? Next year, Dallas might pay you even more if they think Dak is going to go. Like right now, mid-season, they're not going to pay him what he should be paid. So
I think Jimmy G's a competitor. I would be a competitor in his situation as one of the best quarterbacks in the world. I want to sling the ball around. I don't want to wait for Trey Lance to derail the season and then come in and try to save it, which is going to be so predictable when they're 2-6. I'd get out now and go join the 0-1 Cowboys if I could.
Did you see that stat last night? Who's the backup for Herbert who came in for one drive? Chase Daniels. $41 million he's made over his course of his entire career. It's pretty good.
Thrown like 11 passes. Seriously, like 11 passes.
Yeah.
He came in, he looked overweight. His beard was like, you didn't think he'd be on TV or being shown on anywhere. It's like they just woke him up and brought him out.
I don't know. These backup quarterbacks seems like you could just drift for years being a great quarterback in the backseat, which is fine. They don't need you.
We didn't talk about Herbert much yet, but he did break his rib. That was confirmed, which we all knew watching it. Definitely broken. It was almost like he knew. It's broken.
Yeah. It is confirmed broken.
But it's confirmed broken today. But it's almost like Herbert knows that Chase Daniel isn't allowed to play because he was dying. He missed one play. It's like, I'm back. Yeah. You can't watch that guy throw. There's no way anything's going to happen here.
Do you think he broke it on the first one, or was it broken more on that second tackle? Because once you saw him just like wince a little bit, those boys were just going after him, just like hit him in the gut.
His line didn't help him out after the first hit. Like he got hit right away afterwards. I thought it was the first hit that got him. It was so clear on that one. It was like a third down. He could have ran for the first down easily, but I think in his head he didn't know how he was gonna like slide or go down or like take a hit.
So much pain. And
that looked so. But then he completed like a fourth down bomb after that. So it was so weird game. I hope he's okay. He doesn't play for over a week. They play a week from Sunday, so hopefully he's back for week 3.
I don't know. Broken ribs. I don't think you just come back after. I feel like you need like a month.
He did last night with no recovery.
Yeah, but I feel like all the adrenaline's pumping. You're gonna feel it today. You're gonna be like, oh, I have broken ribs.
He's day to day. The Chargers say he's day to day.
Such a lie.
I'm telling you.
All right, let's get into the picks. These are tentatively locked because we are talking right after this podcast. We were arguing. We were on the phone today for an hour.
Arguing. An hour. Well,
hour.
He's your mutual friend. He's not getting much sleep these days, and so I think he's a little grouchy with the picks. Yeah. Maybe.
So we were going back and forth. We were on different sides of games. I'm trying to push him one way. He's trying to push me the other. Lots of arguing back and forth. We have settled.
You got to give us 5 games. You got to give us 5 games.
I'm giving you 5. All right. So I'm just going to tell you the game, and then you.
Do you want to show your screen again? Do you want to show you?
No, I don't want to tell you because then you're going to know what side we pick because I already have it identified here. Okay. So we are playing one of the sides in the Indy Jacksonville game. Jacksonville home dog, getting 2.5 points at home.
You said it yourself. Home dog is all you had to say. It's the Jags. Is it 2.5? I have it at Jags +4 on my book. Are you down to 2.5?
The contest lines are 2.5. Not as juicy as 4.
I like 4. Listen, we talked
So
about
do
the
I.
Patriots last week, and they never play well in Miami. Tried telling you, but you didn't listen. That's okay. You're not
I
going to
know.
listen to everything I say. I totally
I
get it.
know.
There's a very similar parallel. The Patriots are to the Dolphins in Miami, what the Colts are to the
I know.
Jags in Jacksonville. They don't play well in Jacksonville. And
You
we
know,
talked about the Colts as a dome team in a
yeah.
northern city coming south. It never works.
They have not won in Jacksonville for 7 years. Not one.
Let's make it
They've
8.
not.
Let's make it 8. Get on that money line for a little
Let's make
bonus.
it 8. Let's go win. All right. The next game, I
Yeah.
think you already know where I'm going with it. Tampa in New Orleans. The line is 2.5. A lot of different lines than you might be getting. Sometimes the contest lines, they project where the line will be going, so it's not as juicy.
You would obviously love it to be +3, gives you a little more room, but you're only getting +2.5. But it's a home dog, so I know you're on the Saints. I know you're
Love
on
it.
Jameis to beat Tom Brady, and I love it for a few reasons. I think the Bucs coming off the short week, they played Sunday night. Now they're back on the road the following Sunday at 1:00 is tough. I think they're out of so many weapons. So who's out? Is it Godwin's out?
Godwin's
Evans
out.
is questionable. Julio is questionable. It could
And
be
Tom's going through a divorce.
Gage is out. Yeah. Like is Cameron Brate going to be the best receiver on the field? That's
Maybe.
possible at this point. So I don't like it from that perspective. It's a Jameis revenge game. Baker did play well against the Browns. I think they lost, but he did play well. It was a close game. And I think Jameis will want to play well against the Bucs. And I think the Saints, the one thing to look out for is if Kamara's hurt, how do they move the ball down the field?
Well, they got my boy Taysom Hill, right? He can just run.
Okay. Mike is very bullish on Taysom Hill.
Oh,
extremely bullish. Are you thinking he'll be the starting running back if Kamara is out?
He'll literally be the starting anything they need for him. He will be out there. When I saw it, I'm like, if this boy can play any position, I'm taking him. He's going to be on my fantasy team.
He's Mike's new starting tight end on his fantasy team. He had a great week 1 rushing. He got a rushing touchdown. So I'm sure it would continue with Kamara. That's a good point. He might be one of the guys. I like to bet. So I'm 2 for 2 so far, which is very rare.
Carolina at New York, the New York Giants. Giants are favored here at home -2. Where do you think I'm going? Where do you think we're going?
I just don't think we live in a world where the New York Giants can be 2-0. And for that reason, I would say Panthers +2. But I don't feel strongly either way.
Yeah, taking the Panthers. I don't love. This is a pick that's like kind of gross. Like I don't really want to play it. This is like 2 teams that honestly I don't even want to watch. I don't want to watch this game.
No.
But
this is like the red zone. They won't show us. They'll show us when everything else goes to halftime. They'll show us the highlights.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, they scored over here. I'm gonna take Baker. I'm gonna see him on the road. Christian McCaffrey. Hopefully he's being okay and healthy. I think there's value here. I think we're trying to fade the public. New York won last week, and we're trying to look at it as like, okay, this team won. Let's not get overhyped. Maybe it's going to be a little inflated. Obviously, we would have loved like a -3. 2 is okay. They definitely seem like equal teams. I'm a little scared because that new head coach really got Daniel Jones kind of like fired up in that last quarter of the game. He looked like he kind of yelled at him on the sidelines, like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
So
maybe that could be as a negative too, though. Maybe it's like you suck so much, I'm going to yell at you in front of all the cameras, which you never see a head coach doing to a quarterback.
Yes. So, I mean, Daniel Jones is pretty bad, but he got something out of him. So you saw something there which kind of scares me a little bit. Baker, he can give or take. Some days he's good. Some days he's bad. Hopefully he shows up this Sunday and he's good.
I would just say when you look at the slate, you look at those 2 bad teams, a close line. That's hard for me to say. Let's capitalize on this game. I just don't know what's going to happen. Super unpredictable.
Of course. Atlanta in LA. They're playing the Rams. -10 for the Rams at home.
So it would be very weird for you to go Rams -10. So you must be going Falcons +10. My thing is though, the Rams had 10 days since their week 1 loss. They're mad. Stafford's going to get Allen Robinson involved this week because he's going to wear the white things on his arms just to signal that out.
Maybe a white collar neck too.
I think the Rams bounce back. I'm sure you're on the Falcons +10.
On the Falcons here, like in the beginning of the week, I'm like, okay, revenge game for the Rams. They're going to bounce back. Value on the Rams. But then I just thought about it. Like we have a thing in our manifesto, blindly take any dog over 9 points. Just take them
blindly.
Just blindly take them.
Quite the blind.
So we're blindly just going to take Atlanta here. I actually liked Atlanta. Mariota looked good. Patterson was out there running around. They got it just seems like it was a much more lively team than what it was last year with Matt Ryan. So I kind of liked it. They're a little feisty. Rams didn't look good. And I know the Rams did not look feisty. They kind of looked dull. And if this game just comes down to a touchdown, I'll be a happy man. Give me Atlanta all day.
I think the key question here is, how long does the Rams Super Bowl hangover last? Is it a 1 week hangover and they revert to normal and win 40-10? I think it's possible. Is it a 4 week hangover and they don't play their best football till October and they're 2-2 in September with close wins and bad losses? That's very possible too. The one stat I would tell you, when Sean McVay loses a game historically, he loses 2 at a time. And so that's in your favor.
What a great stat.
There you go. Add that to the manifesto. But the 10 days might throw a little wrinkle in that because he does have extra time to get the team healthy, to get everyone fired up. I do think the Rams probably cover because they're mad.
I was listening to Mike Lombardi on his it's a terrible podcast, but I tried to listen to him because he's like
person.
he kind of has like really good like little chunks of data.
I know.
He's like, more rest is actually worse for the team. So it's like, they're kind of getting lazy with practice. So
I heard a talking head say that about the Bills in the same situation, that Bills are hosting the Titans. Are you on this game at all?
Yeah.
We can talk
about it right now. Yeah. So
I was just going to say, just link that up. The Titans, the Bills and Rams played in that same game, the Thursday opener. So they both got 10 days off. And the idea was the Bills had too much time off. They're not going to be ready. And Derrick Henry's going to come through there and run people over because the Bills have had such an easy week.
So this is the last one. You can kind of see like our little sheet here. We're taking Tennessee. We're taking Tennessee.
Yeah,
getting 10 points. And not that it's blind, but this one, like we were kind of arguing about. We were going back and forth. You can see we're like MB, TM, we're on different sides. We're yelling at each other about Houston, Denver, yelling at each other about Arizona, Vegas. Like let's just stay off the game. I like Tennessee.
Visual.
I like what's going on here. I like getting the points. I feel like they're overhyped. Buffalo, everybody's on them. Tennessee didn't really they're not a team that people are talking about. And I don't want to take the public side. So I'm taking Tennessee.
Mike, when you say you like what's going on here with the Titans, what part is it? Is it Ryan Tannehill? Is it the no AJ Brown? Is it the defense that doesn't look good against Daniel Jones? Which part?
I just feel like sometimes teams start off, they're either rough or something's going on. It's still like a core of a team. They have Derrick Henry. And I feel like Buffalo sometimes Buffalo sometimes plays bad against certain teams. Just like we saw last week when Pittsburgh, they play Cincinnati really tough every single year. So I'm hoping that this is like one of those tough grinding games. We keep it really tight and we win, the Buffalo wins by 7 or whatever. And we walk away with a winner here. But you don't like Tennessee.
I hope you're right. I got one more red flag for you as well.
Okay, give me the red flag.
Last Monday, you took advantage of the home team on Monday Night Football. You knew the crowd would be into it. Yeah. What is Bills Mafia going to do on a Monday?
That's right.
Bro? They're going to take the day off. They're going to be breaking tables at 9 a.m. on a Monday. The game doesn't start till prime time. I know you got time to look these over before you submit.
We're going to look them over.
I'm raising the flag on this one, baby. I am raising it high.
All right, so let me pitch you this. My alternative line here, this alternative game I wanted to play, I wanted to play the Jets. I thought Flacco's in. We know it's pretty bad. Cleveland looked pretty good for running, but I don't know if they looked that great overall as a team. And I kind of like them. I kind of like the Jets here to play this stinky team, and let's see what happens. Now, the Tennessee thing, Buffalo being at home, it definitely scares me a little bit, but 10 points is a lot.
Listen, I've never bet on the Jets and I never will. So that's a tough one to ask me. I did look at that line and I thought, wow, the Browns might cover that because the Browns are not as bad as people think. The Browns won week 1. I think the Jets are worse than people think. I think Flacco kept that game close with so many passing attempts. Why in the hell did that man throw over 50 passes in week 1?
Who?
It wasn't even out of hand. Joe Flacco threw 50 passes against the Ravens. They only lost by 11 points.
Maybe he just built it up. He hasn't thrown in a long time, so maybe it was just he had to get it out there.
Here's one for you. If you're going to play Baltimore and keep it close, run the fucking ball and don't let Joe Flacco throw it. And I feel like they're going to get in the same situation in Cleveland. Chubb or Hunt will go on a long run early. They're going to go up 10-0, and Flacco's going to throw 50 passes, and that's not a recipe to cover.
What do you think of Baltimore getting 3.5 at home? Do you like that game, or do you like Miami there?
I do. The Dolphins are losing some offensive line help. Their right tackle's out. Their left tackle's questionable.
Oh, let me write this down. This is good. I can pitch a mutual friend later.
And so I do think that's a tough week 2 game. That's why the Dolphins win over the Patriots in week 1 was so big, because I thought they would come back and lose to Baltimore.
You like I mean, you're our pulse on Miami.
Like
we should have listened to you.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I like Baltimore this week.
I thought you were trying to play with our head. We didn't want you in our heads this week, but
did you see the stat came out later? I didn't even share the Tua stat, 4-0 against Belichick.
It's kind of wild. Tua's not good. So
didn't
sad.
say he was. Just a stat.
No. All right, good show. Check out thesportshangover.com. Everything's there. Also follow us on Twitter, and we will post our picks, our final picks. Things might change because I'm learning new information I didn't know.
Boy, the Titans.
I might get off those Titans. All right, good show. See you next week.